I think one of the biggest misconceptions about building a creative life is that passion alone is enough. That if you're talented, motivated, and disciplined enough, things will work out. But the more I'm kind of trying to build this creative life for myself, the more I realize dreams need systems, not just motivation. I wanted to launch my prints and digital products, basically build out my Etsy shop properly, and I thought I was ready, but then I started editing my artwork for print and realized very quickly my current setup just isn't enough. So I wanted to offer art prints, and for that I needed a software, an art software. I tried two softwares that are for free, Krita and Photopea. And how shall I say it? I'm kind of a bit disappointed. I think they work quite well for basics, but when it comes to corrections and also offering, if you want to offer different colors, like if you want to make the lips different colors or the background in different colors, it takes a lot of time, and especially with the laptop and with the mouse, because I don't have a tablet, it takes even longer. And putting all of that effort at the end, it doesn't look that great. So it doesn't meet my quality standards. So I did some research, and one of the best tools that artists kind of suggest to use is Procreate. But the problem is, for using this app, you need an iPad. And I don't have an iPad. And many artists suggest to use iPad Air. It's the best for Procreate. But I don't think I can invest in an iPad right now. So I had to make a decision. Do I prioritize quality or quantity? Because yes, offering more products would probably help me learn faster what to sell, but I would rather sell less and keep the quality high and really sell things that I'm kind of proud of. And honestly, that's been one of the biggest lessons right now in my creative journey, to accept that change is the only constant we have, and progress also looks like changing the process, and that you need to be very patient because things sometimes are just so slow. When you're creating an art business, sooner or later you have to deal with marketing. Marketing can be a blessing and a curse at the same time. And I recently started to post on Instagram. I already had an account, but I was not that much active because I feel like with my energy and with my goal, I feel more comfortable being on YouTube. But definitely Instagram and TikTok are kind of a must have, I think. So I'm gonna have to take that also seriously. And being on Instagram reminded me how different the platforms are. Instagram feels like shouting into a crowded room, and YouTube is a search engine, so it's just a completely different function. You're shown to people who care or not care, and YouTube feels more like intentional. People come to YouTube to learn, to grow, and to really connect with you. 10 years ago, you could have posted anything on Instagram and it could have worked somehow. But nowadays, you need a system, you need a strategy. And I don't think Instagram will work for me if I just randomly post. I want to build a strategy and use kind of more or less the same system as I used for YouTube. At the end, you need to consider I'm quite new in this era, and which is actually good for people who want to build from scratch. So you can watch me and and kind of learn from my mistakes. But what I actually did on YouTube, my system on YouTube, was just kind of building buffer before I posted constantly. Before posting anything, I pre-produce 3 videos. So in case of, getting ill or when I can't produce anything, that I don't get into this panic mode, that I need to be productive or be creative. And that really was a game changer because I can create from a calmer space and from a clear mind. From January to April, I was posting every 2 weeks. It was a test phase to figure out, does it work for me the 2 weeks? Is it too much? Is it too stressful? And I figured out that actually it works very well. So I'm getting a little bit brave and I want from now on post weekly and see if that's gonna work. So I will apply the same principle to Instagram and pre-produce reels. I will pre-produce around 20 reels, which means if I want to post every week around 3 times, I will have content for 6 to 7 weeks, which is a lot. And during that time, I can think about new concepts and new reels. And this is really a way that gives me the freedom, not to get overwhelmed and just to stay creative and calm. So I think this strategy will help me to stay consistent and not to get overwhelmed easily. Talking about systems, I also will have 3 content pillars for my social media. The first one is that I just take the snippets of my long videos from YouTube and I'm gonna take the highlights and make a reel out of it. The second will be that I just do drawing videos with just music in background or just some thoughts of mine. And the third will be that I just do storytelling videos. So I tell my visions, my problems, my solutions, my win and fails. Who am I? What visions do I have? And what am I learning currently? So currently I'm really learning that consistency doesn't come from motivation. It comes from building systems. And I think these content pillars and all of these things that I'm just doing will help me, to build foundation and to stay more consistent and kind of build momentum. I think that's something that no one really talks about when it comes to building a creative life. So it's not all about passion, being inspired, and going for your dreams. It's more about logistics, building systems, building momentum, and a strategy that helps you to build this, this flow. And it's also about problem solving and adjusting your plans constantly. I really would like more people understand, especially more artists understand that yes, passion, it's important. You need to be, of course, kind of passionate about what you're doing, but it's more important, I would say, to have a system, a strategy, because there are so many cases I see in my surrounding that many talented artists just give up because they have not really figured out what strategy would help them to achieve their goals. So I'm still figuring things out, but something I think that is very important, what I learned in the last month since I'm starting my art journey, is building a system is a game changer, and it can really decide if you stay consistent and continue your art journey or you stop and give up. And I would love to exchange experiences. Maybe you can tell me what helps you to stay focused and to stay consistent in your art journey. I would love to hear and read, and hopefully see you next week. Bye.